I feel like calling this a slur is incredibly overplaying what the word is. The word that like a handful of trans people created like a decade ago that has never been used in any systemic way in order to hurt people, that's where you draw the line. That's the line. The line is like Tumblr discourse. The line isn't the real world. You know what's crazy about this Theyfab drama? So like, do you remember the drama? A bunch of people who were here when I called someone. Now that I had that debate where I was like, you know, I don't want to tone police people who have a legitimate reason to be upset. They're saying like that this is unacceptable, that I need to be an internet hall monitor and that I need to police everyone's behavior at all times. It's like you realize that you are a woke scold now, right? You realize that you are doing the exact same thing. And you were being very selective with what you're outraged about. I want people to do this. I'm legitimately serious. One in chat if you are on speaking terms with either of your grandparents. Okay, we got a bunch. I need you to go to your grandma or go to your grandpa, and I want you to explain to them who I am and what the Theyfab discourse is about and why people are mad at me, or explain to them Noodlegate, or explain to them the Pit Crew drama, or explain to them the Tim Pool Ball drama. Like, explain to them any of the drama cycles I've been in and tell me what they say.
Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Keffals. And first and foremost, I want to give props where props are due, because last night, Keffals did a charity stream for Trans Lifeline in the name of Brianna Gray, which, if you didn't know, the trials have recently started. Brianna Gray is a trans teenager that was stabbed, and it is essentially a hate crime. They stabbed her for being trans. They said they wanted to see if she would scream like a girl, you know. Really sick stuff, man. So it's times like this is very important that the community does come together and do things like this. And a lot of people donated. I donated. They raised a shit ton of money, man. It was really good to see. And I just want to say, no matter who the person is, when positive things like this happen, I'm always going to be supportive of it, because we definitely need more of this in the trans community. It's a lot of infighting. It's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of resentment. It's a lot of pain. We need something that's more positive where people can come together. We don't always have to agree all the time. It feels like in the trans community, if you're not agreeing, then we can't get along. So today's video, I'm going to be essentially talking about Keffals' Theyfab take, which I think was a really good take, and it goes a little bit broader than that into issues with trans people being very terminally online, how we interact interpersonally in the community, trans person to trans person, how we advocate for ourselves. So we're going to get into all these different things, and like I said, I think these are some of the best takes I've seen from Keffals, honestly. I feel like it was spot on, so we're going to go ahead and react to a couple clips I got here. Let's get it.
And now people have started doing anvil dog whistling, apparently, in response to this debate, which just makes them look like groypers. Like, I'm sorry. But saying that, oh, it's just a joke, it's like Looney Tunes style violence, is dog whistling. What does the anvil falling on someone represent? It represents doing harm to someone. It's really fucking obvious. I don't know why people are suddenly okay with it.
So right here, what she's talking about is she had a debate with a guy named Karl Marx. I might watch the debate, see if I can get any content out of that. It might be kind of interesting. So what she's saying is this guy, after they have this Theyfab debate, which, mind you, Keffals is not in favor of anyone calling people Theyfab. It's not a nice thing to do. It invokes dysphoria, you know. But regardless, Buddy got a little bit upset after this and started posting things like that. And now I wanted to include this clip right off the start here, just because it's very interesting to me how all these people, they always act like they're in the morally right, and like they have, whoever has like the most politically correct, you know, quote unquote politically correct opinions and shit, they feel like they can act that way. But if you just like inherently say something violent, they'll freak out, right? It's like, I want to pull the wool out from your eyes, because these people are just as nasty and toxic as the people they're criticizing, because we're all human. But for some reason, they think they're on some pedestal. You're really not.
The current use of the word is to harass non-binary people, whether you're willing to admit that or not. It literally just is, and you can see it if you spend 5 seconds on Twitter. That's what I said earlier. Oh wait, you're that person who blocked me, or I blocked you because you were dogpiling me, and then you posted the block screen and said I don't listen to trans mask people. It's like, I don't know. You could have reached out any other way. It's kind of crazy that people think that they can dogpile me and then I'm going to listen. Like, I'm going to see all of the upset, angry people and I'm going to immediately go, yes, I am listening. I am not going to be defensive at all because this is how being dogpiled works.
Now, right here, this is one of the main problems with the trans community, is that their favorite tactic seems to be dogpiling. And maybe not even just the trans community, maybe even the greater like leftist, online lefty community, right? Like, why dogpiling? Like, dude, that's just gonna beat someone down. And especially if like it's everyone on the same side of the aisle, but we have different criticisms. We have the same objectives. We want the same things, right? But we have different ways of going about them. Why would dogpiling your own people ever help? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not gonna help. The best thing to do would be to reach out to people and have conversations, but then be able to move on with understanding that it's okay to agree and disagree, especially if we're fighting for the same cause. Stop this. Seriously.
We do not need words to emphasize someone's assigned gender at birth that are meant to induce dysphoria and enables harassment. See, this is the thing that also confuses me about this discourse. There are so many words that you can say that can induce dysphoria in people. Like, for instance, there's a lot of trans women I know that say they do not want to be called dude at all, ever. No one should ever call them dude. It induces dysphoria to call them dude. And a lot of people don't care. Max called me dude. Like, or bud. There was a whole discourse with bud and buddy as words. And people saying that this is misgendering, this is a dysphoria-inducing term. But most people don't care. Even the term trans woman is something that earlier on in my transition made me feel dysphoric. I didn't like being called a trans woman because the term trans woman necessarily implies you were assigned male at birth.
Now, this is really important right here because it's very difficult, right? Being trans and having dysphoria and having it triggered constantly in your environment, it could be very stressful. But what you need to understand is that is a burden that is placed on you. That is not society's fault. That is not anyone else's responsibility. People should be nice. People should respect us, you know, things like that. But at the end of the day, if someone's doing something that is causing you dysphoria, let's say like they don't even mean to, like they're just referring to you as dude, and let's say you try to tell them and they still don't care, it's not worth making a big stink about it. Just don't interact with that person. They clearly don't care about you. But what happens too often is it's not even like a explaining of why it's harmful. It's just like an outright, oh, you're a fucking bigot, you're a trans, you know. Slow down, okay? Because everyone's trying their best out here, and no one is responsible for how you feel. At the end of the day, you are responsible for how you feel, not anyone else, okay?
Like, I'm already saying, don't just call people Theyfabs. That was never my point. I mean, like, the words dude is also something that, the word dude is also something that can induce dysphoria in people. And a lot of people say that they don't want to be called dude, but people do it anyway. Or even older queers. Older queers who had the shit kicked out of them and were called a queer as a slur often say things on Twitter like, please stop using the word queer. This word is a word that is riddled in trauma to me. I hate hearing it. I don't like being called queer. And then people will tell them to fuck off. Like, this is the thing that I really don't like about a lot of LGBT community spaces, is being made to constantly feel like I'm walking on eggshells.
So what Keffals said right there at the very end is what I want to hone in on, because most of that was just kind of piggybacking off of what I already just talked about. So yeah, like, dude, you feel like you cannot step out of line in the trans community. You'll be completely exiled, alienated. This is a big problem for a community of people that are already suffering, they're already struggling to fit into society, they're probably struggling to like make friends, maybe find a job, begin a relationship, do whatever, you know. Just being trans just makes like life overall harder, right? It just makes life harder. So we would need a strong community. But the issue is that the community is so toxic and they're so ready to jump down people's throats that get out of line that people will suppress what they really think or whatever, you know, just to fit in, just to be. It's so cliquey. That's the biggest issue with the trans community, is incredibly cliquey, you know. And I used to have like friends in the trans community, but I really don't talk to anyone in the trans community anymore, and I want to change that. I want to find some trans people I can like genuinely connect with, because I'm sick of this shit, and I feel like we got to start speaking up against this and like taking care of community members a little bit more, regardless of if their opinions agree or line up with us. Fuck that shit, man. Like, even people like Blair White and Buck Angel, people on the complete opposite side of the aisle, right? We even need to like be cool with them. Alright, I think your opinions are bigoted. Fuck you on that, but you're a trans person, so I rock with you on that. You gotta compartmentalize this shit.
A lot of online trans stuff is just fighting each other. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why people attack me and the reason why is because trans people by and large are powerless to actually fight back against the people who are hurting them on a systemic level. So they go after people that they feel they can reach.
Damn, that shit hit. Trans people they're powerless against the people actually hurting and oppressing them, and they can't fight back, so they end up lashing out at each other. Damn, that's so true, isn't it? Like, think about like the hood, right? Like what happened to black people, crack, and then they formed gangs to protect the community, essentially, right? Then they locked all the damn leaders up, and there was no leadership. They started fighting each other. You know why? Because they couldn't fight back against the powers that be. So now it's stuck in a fucking cycle. That's the hood cycle, man. And like, there's a trans cycle, and it mostly plays out online, but it's a lot of parallels, right? This needs to stop. This just needs to change. We need to stop. I played a part in this, you know, going through a toxic relationship, and I felt like I wasn't able to be myself and have my identity and be safe at the same time. And then I was struggling to blow up on YouTube, and all these things frustrated me, and I lashed out against the community. I lashed out against numerous trans people. I just made like overall general transphobic videos, like videos that are not positive, negative, hateful videos. I never came into this to do that. And I was even convincing myself that like, no, because of the way these trans people are acting, because of the way the community operates, I'm doing the right thing. Like, but it's you got to be the bigger person. I'm just stooping to their level. I don't want to do that. So I'm genuinely sorry for all that. And going forward, I'm going to be a lot better. You know, judge me by my actions, not based off what I say. Because time and time again, like, I've made corrections and I've grown as a person and I've moved forward in a better light. And I'll continue to do that always.
The Zoomers are saying that this word is being used to a much more regular basis with all their friends. It makes me really sad because I think it speaks to a bigger issue of a generation being raised on social media where all of their connections are through the internet and they don't have in real life support and in real life community, which is incredibly important for your mental health and well-being, especially going through something as difficult as transition.
This is so important right here, what Keffals brings up. Yeah, trans people need to get the fuck off the internet. Some of y'all are on the internet, y'all on Twitter from sunrise to sundown. It's not healthy, it's not real. You're like, I swear to God, every time, like, I just do this for work, right? Like, it's not exactly the most relaxing thing for me to like go on Twitter or whatever the fuck. Like, it's a job at the end of the day. So sometimes I'm on it too much, you know, just trying to make this shit happen. And I start losing my mind. I start losing touch of reality. And then I go outside again, man. I just take a walk. It's something as simple as taking a walk. And it's like, oh yeah, they're crazy on that internet thing, man. It's normal out here. It's like, the world's not fucking burning. Like, yeah, the world's always had problems and people struggling. Like, it's rough, right? It's rough out here. Life's life. But it feels way more worse when you're just constantly looking at it in your screen. Because you gotta understand, like, it's probably good in your life most of the time, you know, and you're gonna have to deal with shit whenever. But, man, please find people in real life, or just spend some time alone in real life, and in nature. Nature is beautiful, and it's healing for us. And we need to go outside. We need the sunlight. We need fresh air. That keeps us healthy. And this also plays into why people freak out so much and dogpile and, you know, like all the infighting in the trans community is because this is all people have. All people have is this Twitter shit. So if someone they like on Twitter starts saying something that they can't handle, they don't have any other outlet. So they freak out. And it's not healthy. Y'all need positive outlets. Man, I'm praying for the trans community right now. I really think things will get better. I think we'll pull together as a community. And I think that's because things are going to get worse from the outside. Like, the right's only going to get more emboldened. And, like, I don't know, man. I feel like we're going to pull together more as a community, but it's going to be more outside threats. I don't know. It's still scary, but I like the idea of the trans community being united in this. Because then we can actually fight an enemy. Right now, we are not organized. We cannot fight back. We have to organize. Everyone. You got to shut the fuck up about your sensitive little problems about, oh, this person's opinion is that, or this, or toxic, or what. Dude, like, if we're all fighting for the same thing, we all want trans liberation, focus on that. Stop being so nitpicky and petty. It's not helping the cause. Anyways, that's about all I have to say. Peace out, bitches. Have a great day.